So you think you can beat me by outlawing my thoughts with your rogue politicians and the judges you bought? So you think you can mold me like I'm made out of clay? Oh, you want me to answer? Just got this to say. Take a look into this warrior's eyes. Tell me what you see. Take a look into this warrior's eyes. Oh, that still beats free.
This is Paul Fromm, the Midnight Man. Hope you'll catch me on the internet every night at midnight Eastern Time at www.stormfront.org for my nightly program of news and commentary of interest to our people, and that's the founding settler people of Canada and the United States. What I'd like to talk to you about tonight is an immigration policy for Canada. The policy that we have today is one of treachery and deceit. It was brought in stealthily in 1965 when the people behind the scenes in our country decided to change the country. Of course, the Canadian people were never asked whether they wanted that change. What was decided was that a country that was founded and settled by Europeans, the French Canadians, the Scots Irish, the United Empire Loyalists, and later on the Germans, the Italians, the Ukrainians, the Russians, the Icelandic folks, and many others, was going to be changed. Now, we were never asked, we were never given a chance to say, well, maybe we're quite happy with the Dominion of Canada the way it is. No, it was decided in 1965 when Canada changed its immigration policy, turned its back on our traditional source of immigration, that's the British Isles and Europe, and turned instead to the Third World. The goal is, of course, to make Canada into a Third World country. And according to Statistics Canada, that will in fact be the result somewhat before 2050. Well, I don't believe that immigration revolution of 1965 was legitimate, was right, nor is it consistent with the traditions of our country. So what should our immigration policy be? And that's what I'd like to address tonight. The first thing you have to understand about immigration is that all immigration is selfish. Think about yourself. Would you go and emigrate, let's say, to Haiti, to Gabon, to Burma, or whatever it's called these days, Myanmar? I can probably hear you laughing. Why? Well, why would you? Why would you go from whatever standard of living you have in Canada to a hellhole, which is what these places are? Why would you? Well, of course you wouldn't. Rightly or wrongly, nobody ever picks up stakes and emigrates unless they believe they're going to a better place. So let's get rid of all silly notions that immigrants come here to enrich us or to give us diversity. They don't come here to give us anything. They come here because they think we've got something that will better them. Fair enough. But if we're going to craft an immigration policy, then we have to realize that immigrants are selfish. We too have to be selfish, and our immigration policy ought to look first and foremost on what is best for Canada and Canadians. Notice I didn't say, well, we have got to take care of refugees here and refugees there and make new people feel at home and try to bring in their families. No. What is best for Canada and Canadians? First question, do we need any immigration? Well, the immigration lobby says, oh yes. In fact, I've heard them saying, oh yes, for over 30 years. Well, how is it that we need any immigration when we still have unemployment levels of over 6%? And these are the good times. I'm, of course, talking about September 2007. As long as we have unemployed Canadians, do we really need anybody? Well, we're told. And we've been told this for 30 years. At some point in the distant future, there's going to be a skill shortage. There's going to be a labor shortage. Well, think about it. Supposing you thought that in December you might need a kid to shovel the snow on your front driveway. Would you hire that person and put him on your payroll in June? Well, of course you wouldn't. If, when December came around, you still needed that person to help you shovel the snow, at that point you'd hire them. Point being, if we do need people in 10, 20, 30 years, at that point we can look at immigration. But we don't need them today. Well, we're told Canadians we have a very low birth rate, below replacement, and that's quite right, we do. And one of the reasons we do is because of high taxation and the government's anti-family policies. If we're worried about the low birth rate, why don't we do more to assist young Canadians to have children? I'm going to throw out one example, and there are many. Why not offer a woman the equivalent of unemployment insurance until such time as her child was in full-time school, day school, roughly age 6. That would encourage women, when they're young, when they most need the money, to have that extra child. It would take women out of the workforce, it would lower the unemployment level, and it would be giving those children what they most need, and that is a mother at home to help raise them. But let's say we think we do need immigration. I'll tell you how that policy could be organized to put Canada and Canadians first. Every year, the government should look at the number of immigrants that our economy needs. The answer may be none. But let's say the answer is 50,000. Right now, incidentally, many Canadians don't know this, we have one of the highest immigration intakes in the whole world. We're taking in 250,000 people a year. That's a million people every 4 years. That's a colossal number of people. Okay, so we set the overall quota, which would match our economic needs. That's our needs. Then we set another quota within that, and that quota would reflect the population makeup of Canada at the last census. That would be non-discriminatory, but it would stop the present policy of overwhelming the founding settler people of Canada. So let's say that at the last census, 25% of the population had come from the British Isles originally. Okay, then 25% of the 50,000 quota could come from the British Isles. And let's say 5% of the quota had 5% of Canada's population had come from Germany, and 3% from Italy. Then similarly, 5% of the 50,000 quota could come from Germany, 3% from Italy. And supposing 1% of the people in Canada in the last census had come from the Indian subcontinent, then 1% of the quota. That way we would maintain the ethnic balance and maintain the position of those people who founded and settled the Dominion of Canada. If you're interested more on immigration matters, you ought to take a look at the Canadian Immigration Hotline. You can look at it online at www.canadafirst.net, or you can send to us, the Canada First Immigration Reform Committee, for a sample copy. Our address is P.O. Box 332, Rexdale, M9W5L3. If you'd like to subscribe, you can subscribe online or by writing to the same address and sending in the annual subscription of $30. This is Paul Fromm, the Midnight Man. I do hope you'll catch me one night at midnight Eastern Time on Stormfront Radio, www.stormfront.org.